I think I was always wondering how to be content.
It's 4 a.m., the dead of night. Zen doctrine teaches, seek nothing, just sit. Morning and night, for a total of 4 hours a day. Few temples in Japan follow such a strict Zazen practice, which comes to 1,800 hours a year. Silence is maintained to focus attention on the food. This too is part of the practice. Those who come to Antaiji must commit to 3 years of practice. One young man is about to begin his 3rd year. 24-year-old Fabian Killinger is from Germany.
What is this for?
It's like a weeding. Because you push the wheat underneath the soil. Yeah, well, in a way. Under this one.
Fabian has officially taken the tonsha and received his Buddhist name, Myogen. He has decided to live the rest of his life as a monk. Since coming to Antaiji, he has rarely seen his German family and friends.
Myogen-san, 何を見てるんですか?
News, Corona news. Yeah, in the beginning when the wave went up, right? Of course I was worried, mainly about family, if they're now sick and, I don't know, one of them is close to dying, I probably would have gone back to.
What lies behind his strong commitment to a monk's life? Myogen's hometown is a small village of 2,500 people in southwest Germany. His mother is a banker, his father a businessman. Myogen grew up in an affluent home. A lively boy, he was good at playing the flute and swimming, and got excellent grades.
Gib alles so, sage ich mal, gell. Keine Angst gehabt vor nichts, gell. Ich immer direkt auf alles zugegangen, was man gezeigt hat, gell. Und ich sage, keine Angst.
Und war auch im Verlauf der Zeit recht erfolgreich. Ist irgendwann mal Kreismeister dann worden. Und ja, aber war trotz allem eine schöne Zeit, wo er wirklich Freunde gefunden hat.
Myogen's parents expected future success from him, but from a very young age, Myogen had doubts.
you grow up in certain conditions and everyone around you, you know, it's all about success, it's all about building a career. And then there are certain pressures from family, and I think I was always looking for something special, whereas the other people around me, they were kind of okay with how their life is.
Mjolgen quit college after half a year. He worked at various jobs, but none of them gave him answers. He felt full of impotent thoughts. Day after day, he kept them to himself. This was his state of mind when one phrase he saw on the Antaiji website captured his heart. Stop chasing.
I feel for me it offers a very different perspective on how to live your life, which kind of seemed to answer the questions I had my whole life, or were able to bring me to closer to the questions I was always wondering about.
Rejecting a stable life in Germany, he plunged alone into Zen practice at Antaiji. There are many things on the road ahead that he cannot see. Even so, he senses potential in the days he spends with few desires at Antaiji and continues his practice.
The problem my whole life was just that I've been looking somewhere else rather than what is happening around me. When you live here, you're always forced to look what is actually happening right now rather than tomorrow, for example, or in the future, or what happened in the past.
On this day, Mjolgen and his fellow residents pursue their practice outside the temple. Twice a year, they engage in takuhatsu, which is asking for alms in the outside world. That night, they change into their street clothes and go shopping.
Tamago, zo, batza, zo. Ramen, zo.
They can't help but delight in their rare trip to the city.
It's not very Buddhist. 30万です。
Very cute. 30万
とかすると思う。30万。 売らないで。
これやったことがある？
一回だけあるけど、なんか私はあんまり。
不思議ね。
Like now. That's why I've decided to stay in Japan finally.
Really?
I thought that is untiring natto.
We noticed something Myogen did while he ate.
Because we do this in Antaji every day that we have to eat everything. I kind of feel bad leaving some leftover. If you practice in a Zen temple, but then as soon as you leave, you kind of, change your complete way of behaving. Whatever we do there, most things have a deeper meaning.
Even outside the temple, Myogen tries to stay true to his practice. The residents construct snow sheds to prevent damage to the temple buildings.
Myogen さんね、それ全部決めていってくれる？どこにどれ使うか全部Myogenさん決めてくれる？
As a third-year resident, Myogen is put in charge of the work.
Yeah, it's this. You should follow the point.
なんか変よね。これ高すぎるんじゃない？これ。何が大事か一緒に考えてやらないと。
Echo has pointed out a mistake in the number of bamboo poles. It's a minor error that doesn't appear to matter, but Myogen finds himself quite angry with himself.
So it expresses like anger, but I think it comes from me being, you didn't give your best, and then I was like, why? I still have things in myself which I would rather change than accept.
Myogen has been practicing how not to seek anything. But along the way, he began seeking a self that was a perfect Zen practitioner. December. The most demanding practice session of the year is about to begin. It's called Rohatsu Sesshin. For 1 week, the residents will do sitting meditation for 15 hours every day.
命がけにならないと本当のものが見えてこないというか、本当の自分に出会えないというのはあるんじゃないかと思います。
The residents are not allowed to speak or bathe during the entire week. They experience almost unendurable pain. In between Zazen sessions, they engage in a walking meditation called Kinhin, which allows them to take only half a step with each breath.
So you start daydreaming about things you're afraid of. You lose all power to your mind. These thoughts right now, and then we start fighting with them. We're trying to push them away. And the more we push them away, the more aggressively they come back.
December the 8th, the day the historical Buddha is said to have achieved enlightenment. At midnight, the special meditation week draws to a close. This is Myogen's third winter retreat. He doesn't appear to be completely absorbed in his practice.
What's the meaning of Zazen? Zazen has no meaning. It's very hard to understand why we sit so much if something has no meaning.
During a break, Ekko the abbot talks to the residents.
安泰寺での修行生活にいろいろと疑問を持つこともあるでしょう。だから明源さんも逃げ出したくなること見たびよたび仏壇さんもクレモンさんはまだ真面目にやってる分かんない、心の中ではいろいろあると思うけどね、いろんな葛藤はあると思いますよ、みんなそれぞれ、
今大丈夫。
今大丈夫今は
問題ない。
今問題ないって。
Myogen has laid bare his dissatisfaction with himself.
Well, at least for me, I really liked Zazen in the beginning, but then it becomes normal. And then because you don't have much free time in Antaiji anyway, often you feel like, now Zazen again. I would rather, I don't know, do something else. With time, it needs to kind of, even if you have to sit there, you should do it fully, right?
But you are also human beings. You cannot make perfect all the time to focus, to do zazen, or to do practice. Not possible because you are human beings. Human nature. So I mean that you shouldn't hide your human nature. Just accept. I hope for myself.
Seek nothing, just sit. What does that really mean?
Maybe I'm able to accept myself a little bit more. I think that's also what Shukya means. To set one step ahead, one step and then the next and then the next. And just keep going that way.
Plum blossoms were a favorite of Dogen Zenji, the founder of the Soto school of Zen. Their ability to bloom despite the harsh winter seemed to him an apt metaphor for Zen practitioners. Hikaru, the resident from the United States, has now been at the temple for half a year. He is permitted to go on the spring trip to ask for alms.
That towel is definitely not good.
Why not?
Because it's way too high.
Well, it's probably because of hair.
I'm not sure, but the towel to me seems also too voluminous.
Okay.
You're laughing his shoes.
Myogen has completed his 3 years as required by the rules at Antaiji. He has spent a great deal of time asking what it means to be happy. Here at the temple, he's discovered something.
Now, for me, being here in Antaiji, many things I wanted to be before, which are not so important anymore. I see there's much more important things around me every moment by being present and realizing there's nothing missing. That's reason enough to be satisfied, I think. Maybe back then I didn't even notice that I was alive. Now I notice a bit better. I'm alive.
This spring, Myogen decided to leave Antaiji and go to a specialized monastery to deepen his studies as a Buddhist monk. Some people leave the temple, others stay. Each pursues their own practice. Seek nothing, just sit.